All right. I'm sure some of you guys saw a previous video. I just posted red pill rage with black pill guts, driving big bodies. 'Cause I don't give a fuck, but I do care because I have to. I have to figure out how to pay for this. I kind of did already, but I just want to show you guys what I do going through. Keep looking over here. What I do when I go through big changes like this. So part of the reason why I did this is it was a bit spontaneous. It wasn't like I've been thinking about it for a couple of months and been wanting one, and I ordered one, and then I kind of just now I'm like kind of fed up, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just go and get it. And oh, actually, let me check sound here. I hope Dave Ramsey doesn't strike me for this. Yeah, I hope Dave Ramsey doesn't copyright strike me for using his image or his likeness. I like Dave Ramsey's work. I do not follow it to a T. I am not a full advocate for what he does because I've ran businesses and I can say I've failed at them and things like that. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. I probably maybe I should. But I do like his work. I do like his channel, and when people call in, it's like freaking debt porn. It's like it really is like debt porn, and but it's kind of one of those things where like you watch it and you're like, oh my god, man, that's horrible for that person. Thankfully, I do have liquid assets to where I can quote unquote bail myself out. Like right now, I could probably. Oof, right now I can liquidate everything and probably good for another almost a year in terms of expenses and even cut stuff down. Last Zulu, what's up, brother? Appreciate you joining, man. We're going to go over budgets today because I got to modify my budget for a $1,200 car payment. So, or truck payment. So, let's get into that. Let me get my windows in the right order here. Don't need this. Stay on that. Yeah, but I like Mr. Ramsey's stuff or Dave Ramsey's stuff. My friend follows it to a T, and there's great things about it because he has good money in the bank, and he has good money in the bank, and then he also but he doesn't invest the same way I do. So there's the good and the bad to it, if you will. And I definitely admire his position because he's able to do, or he is, I would say, in a good position as well. And he would say I'm in a good position as well because of my assets. And then, of course, earning potential, especially as a single person. I'm able to do what I do. And then, he's married with a child, and they have a nice home and everything else like that too. So we definitely have things where we look at one another's situation and be like, wow, I want that. And but that's one thing that's nice is like when we talk about these things with one another, we always feed off of one another in terms of share screen, in terms of getting good ideas from one another. All right, because my stuff sucks. Maybe instead of like paying all this money for a truck, I should pay money for a better setup here. But that is coming. I just bought a new miter saw actually tonight. I just bought a new miter saw tonight for my workshop, and I bought a new storage bin, and I'll be doing some stuff to trick that out. I might be doing that tomorrow. I might do a stream on that tomorrow. But anyways, we are going to go over my budget. And, I definitely ain't doing Dave Ramsey proud, but I couldn't think of a better picture. I really wanted to use. Let me show the picture I really wanted to use. Oh my god, this picture is hilarious. I wanted to use this picture. And I probably should like change it to something like this, but I really wanted to use this picture because Dave Ramsey would so say this shit to me, be like, "You're stupid, stupid, stupid." God damn it, America! Like Dave Ramsey was so get on my ass about this shit, and rightfully so. It's the risk I choose to take and everything else like that, but yeah, so let's go over this. There's still debts out there. There's still payments and stuff that I have to make for stuff. Let's see how this actually looks. Let's increase the yet. Yeah, that's better. All right. But yeah, this is the actual picture I wanted to use. Stupidity is alive and well. Dave Ramsey ran. And you can Google those images and stuff like that and get that stuff. But hopefully he doesn't get me for using his likeness. All right. So with the vehicle, I do have a 7% interest rate. It is a 6-year payment of $1,291 per month. Currently, if I look at so many things I'm doing here, this is, yeah, okay. So if I look at some of the things I'm doing here, that leaves me with an extra $567.79. But first, let's look at the truck and the payment. What is that for? I don't even know what app that's for. All right, so truck total is like 76. Let's say 76.5 out the door is what I financed. I do have a credit score of 701 and where's that button? 699. Forgot which one is which. And that actually falls in line with what I have for Credit Karma, which I do track on a monthly basis. Let me take out my earbud because that's kind of bothering me. So I do track that. So that actually, the Vantage 3.0 score is pretty much on point or close to what you would see with what is that thing called again? With my FICO or a FICO score. With that, I do have services. We'll call this services. So I do have a warranty and gap insurance, which I usually always get. A part of those services is the warranty is 45K miles or 3 years. And just, gap is gap, like essentially with the what you pay with the gap insurance is if anything happens to the truck or the vehicle that causes it to be totaled, gap insurance will cover the difference between what I owe on the loan and or cover the difference between the value of the truck and what I owe on the loan. So of course the value of the truck depreciates over time, and by the time they could say they write it off as a total loss, look at the Kelley Blue Book value, whatever the market's doing. Then they'll be like, okay, well, you owe this much you would owe this much on the truck if you were just to sell it outright. So essentially what the insurance does is buy it back from you, sell it at auction for parts so that it can get repaired or it gets, salvage title or however they classify it, and they use it for parts. In terms of my trade-in, so the trade-in for my truck, I actually had equity on my vehicle. I owed the payoff amount, payoff was 17.2K, and equity, so value, Kelley Blue Book value, was about 22 something, right? Like I think it was like 22 grand or 22K. So the difference between 22K and 17.2K is your equity. So essentially, if you're okay, what's it called? Uh, Ryan was salute. How long do you plan on holding your truck? For I think forever. To be honest, it's a 25. It's a Chevy Silverado 2500. I mean, it's a big ass truck. Let me see if I can. Well, you guys have seen like if you see like the community. If you go to the community tab, you see a picture of it. And then of course the previous video. So I won't like quote unquote bore you with the pictures, but 2500, a Chevy Silverado 2500 High Country. It's a 2020, and it had 60,000 miles on it. It was mainly used for hauling empty trailers, and it was a preacher's vehicle. And I mean, it's beautiful. You can see the last video where I got into it and stuff like that. Elbow cough, elbow cough, elbow cough. Low cast that it doesn't come through with the emojis. Well, okay, I could probably look at it on you. What's it called? On YouTube, so I can't see what that emoji. Yeah, that's how it comes through. Okay. Anyways, so Lowcast, what's up? Kill Deuce, what's up? Like, what's up, Kill Deuce, man? Appreciate you showing up and joining the chat or joining this stream. But so I plan on keeping the truck honestly into the foreseeable future. I do plan on eventually getting another luxury vehicle. I'm not sure when though. I almost had a problem financing the truck because I've never financed a truck that like with that amount, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And I've had a luxury vehicle before, so I don't think I'll get a luxury vehicle while I still have the payment for this truck. Something's got to give or fall off for me to do that. And actually, I'll probably be getting a tractor at some point as well, which is one of the reasons why I got, I needed a truck, but I don't think I need a 1500 to pull a track. I don't think I need a 2500 truck to pull a tractor, but I plan on having this truck for a long time is kind of what I want to say here. So I'll be back to having two vehicles. So I'll have a nicer truck, bigger truck, so I can haul stuff. Maybe even get a fifth wheel. I'm not sure. Well, I'm thinking about this, and then also doing some other stuff as well. But yeah. So I think I'll have it for a long time, and then it's a diesel. So with diesels, one, they last a long time if you take care of them. They also usually burn a little bit cleaner than your regular gas, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. And they usually quote unquote hold their value because there's a lot of old ass diesel trucks around here that are easily 20 something years old, man. Some old Dodge Rams, dude. And those things, they just get louder and louder, and they don't look out of place at all in terms of like what people do around here. So you can always use a truck like this. Even if you get another one, you can always still keep the old one. And then I do want to do some other businesses as well. So like even land clearing, land development. So hauling around like a skid steer, a tractor. Like I want to get a compact Mahindra tractor. I already got quoted on one. It's about like 26 grand. So I might eventually get something like that. I will eventually get something like that because I have like 18 acres of land. 7 of it is grass, and then another 7 of it is actually forest. So I do want to clear out some stuff and do some things myself, and also like digging ditches and some other things to kind of do things around the property. So equity, didn't take too long because I know how to add, subtract, whatever. All right, Kill Deuce, man, what's up, man? I appreciate you showing up. Lowcast, appreciate you showing up as well. So I had 4,000 or 4.28K in equity. Ooh, sorry, wrong window. So the list price for the vehicle was we'll just round it up to 76K, right? And one thing that's nice is if you go to like websites like cargurus.com, Car Gurus, and this is like one thing that's like pretty cool to do, right? So let's increase that. Excuse me. Where is it? Silverado 2500 HD. Zip code is this. So I didn't want the old body style. I wanted a newer one. So let's get that out of here. Ooh, where is it? 2020. So this has like a crappy picture, so we won't look at that one. But so, all right. So we're looking at cargurus.com. What's up, Anti-Gravity, brother? Appreciate you showing up. Just talking over cars, and I'll get into budgeting here in a little bit. But in terms of like buying the vehicle, looking at something like this, I wish I had the old post that I saw yesterday. I literally just made the decision yesterday to look at it. There wasn't any fear or anything. The biggest thing is I knew my truck would sell for a little bit higher, and that goes into the equity portion of it. So with my trade-in, let's just step back and go to that. With the trade-in, I had equity on the vehicle because of chip shortages. Used vehicles are at a higher price. So even my truck is at a higher price because they don't have. Yeah, what about Dave Ramsey triggers you? And if you think that's triggering, this is the picture I wanted to use. Stupidity is alive and well, America. Like, this is what I really wanted to use. And it's not to make fun of Dave Ramsey. I totally respect him and what he does. My friend swears by him and does very well for himself in terms of his financial decisions and things like that. But I do love Dave Ramsey. I do love also Dave Ramsey's show. I call that shit debt porn because, man, the stuff you hear people go through and what they're saying, it's like, you know what Dave's going to say. Like, literally, I'm not going to lie, Dave Ramsey is like the Kevin Samuels of freaking like the finance space. He's just like, he'll be like, all right, what's your credit score? Okay, how much do you have saved up? Have you gone through all the baby steps? That's just like Kevin say, what's your age? How much do you weigh? What's your waist size? Okay. Waking up, coming out of bed. Like, yo, Dave Ramsey be just like cutting these people and they just like, he's like, okay. And like they know what he's gonna say, which is hilarious. Anyways, my vehicle was at a higher price, so trading it in, I had $4,800 in equity. With that, and using Car Gurus, I had Car Gurus up, and I had the vehicle, right? And I was just like, all right, cool, because you're like all these are like LTs, they're not high countries. Yeah, none of these are high countries, right? And the high country is like the high end trim. That's like the super sexy one. I think this is the high country. So you see how this is 7289, and this is for 20. This is for 2022, right? And oh man, that's actually not too bad. Oh no, this is Z71 though. So yes, I mean that's still pretty good though. Let's look at this one. Let's see. It says Z71, but yeah, it's a Z71, so it's not the high country, and the high country just has things like the head-up display, blah blah blah. But one thing that's nice about Car Guru is it'll tell you if it's a good deal based on what's going on in the market. So I had a 2020. Now my 2020, after everything, and I said, hey, on Car Gurus, it says that this is $3,000 over market, right? Or over the market value. And anti-gravity, I'll read that in a second because that's quite a bit, and I want to focus on that. But it says it's $3,000 over the market. So with me having that kind of information or quote unquote trump card, and I said, I did a couple of things, key things, right? I showed them, hey, listen, I have both my keys with the security code and everything. I'm here to buy a freaking car today. I'm trying to make this deal. There was no pressure sales or anything. I dealt with a really nice woman that had big old knocker. Jesus, that little white chick had big. I'm talking like, yo, she could probably headbutt my nipples. She was so short, like maybe, and she would have to stand on her toes to do that. And then she had a little bit of back on it, a little tiny bit, but man, that whole front, I was gonna say something, but then I saw she had a kid, and then she said she had a husband, and like I met the husband. He was a cool dude too, because like he had to come by and pick up her son because he was sick that day, and the boy was cool. Like I liked her son. Like her son was funny, and then like we were looking up boa constrictors or boas, and like how they eat alligators and stuff. So real cool kid. I liked him. But anyways, so looking at this and armed with like, hey, listen, I can take mindset, yo, I'm taking or leaving it. If they don't give me what I want, I'm really ready to get out of here. And it's not a problem for me. Damn, this is nice. Ooh, this is super nice. And I wasn't really tripping on it, but I'm trying to find one where it says, not a good deal or something like that. They have some nice colors here, man. Look at this. 2021. Oh, this is a custom. I wonder what's wrong with that because that's a low price. Look at that, 55 grand for that. 25, 2020, 25,000 miles. That had to have had an accident or something on it. But I can't find another high country. I think I had a pretty decent deal. But anyways, it'll say, hey, listen, great deal, 9,000 below market, so on and so forth. Now, when you have something like that, then the guy's coming to me and he's like, hey, listen, sticker price is 76 grand. And I said, okay, well, listen, based off of what I see on Car Gurus here, this thing is overpriced. They don't have to really do much checking. They already see credit scores and all types of other stuff. I'm in the 700s, so that's good. And I broke back into that pretty quickly by paying down a card and stuff like that. So that's good. And the list price after everything was, I think, like 70. They got it down to like 72K. Right. Like 72K. And then, of course, it goes up a little bit. So once they take off how much they did for the trade in, and then, of course, the value of the taking a little bit off the top and everything like that for the 3K, then I'm looking at 72K. And then another 4 grand gets added onto it in terms of gap insurance and warranty. So list price was 76K and or 76. Let's put that here. Right, and 72. All right. So yeah, got the discount, got everything taken off. They showed me how they were going to add everything together and put it all together and everything else like that. And I was like, all right, cool. So after that, and I won't get into all that stuff because I'd have to look at the paper, see all the math and everything like that. But it was good. I looked at a calculator and everything looked pretty good on that. So 1291 is the monthly. All right, so now with the 1291 monthly, and we're using things like Car Gurus to get a little bit better deal. Actually, I want to see these trucks. Like, whoa, this one is sexy. This is sexy. Lionel, what's up, brother? Appreciate you showing up, man. Lionel hits me up. He's like, yo, red pill rage with black pill guts. A little rap. Oh man. Okay, so Anti-Gravity says this about Dave Ramsey. He gives financial advice from a boomer's perspective. It's definitely helpful for a lot of people, but his advice is just too conservative and cautious for my taste. Indeed, the same thing for me. I do modifications on Dave Ramsey's plan. I won't say that my modifications are always best. I do get what I want in the short term, but then I still have to do things like do the investments and then I get what I want, but then I'm gonna have to pay the bills for it, pay it off later, and everything else like that. And then you incur a little bit in terms of interest. So is it better? Things like that. Yeah, he's too conservative for my taste. As a person that runs businesses, and for me to take the risks that I have to take, I'm sorry. I'd rather try and take that risk, and that's not for everybody. And also with my level of earnings, I can kind of take that risk. And even Dave Ramsey would still say you shouldn't take that risk. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else. In some cases, I don't know what else to do, quote unquote. So I do like Dave Ramsey and what he preaches and everything else like that, and actually preaches and teaches. But I've seen even with my own friend, brother, my business partner, brother. Where his investments kind of like he could be doing more in investments and just putting a little bit more into it. So I always try to get on him about that and talk with him and say, hey, listen, man, just invest a little bit, man. You don't have to do a lot. I'm not asking you to do a whole bunch, so on and so forth. But he's a person of the Dave Ramsey camp, and it has helped him and his wife a lot, and I'm not trying to get into it to put his business out there. But he's definitely somebody that I admire, and I see that how that plan actually works out for him. So I can't I've seen if you do it right or do it the Dave Ramsey way, yeah, you get stuff. You get stuff, but he also has he has the double earnings of like him and his wife to the household. So that's another story, and that's I don't always have that. That's my excuse, but that's Dave Ramsey still would say that's not good enough. This is a nice truck right here, man. 6800 or 6900 crew cab LTZ. Now with the LTZ, let's see if, and this has like this looks like it has the Apple CarPlay and all that other stuff. So let's see if it has head up. Yeah, so this doesn't have the heads up display, which you get in the technology package for the High Country. Still a good truck, 1 year, 1 year younger than mine, and very low mileage. And that's not bad for that type of truck, especially used nowadays in this current market. So, for instance, even if I look at this one, yeah, this doesn't have heads up display. So heads up display is like a big thing for me. That's definitely something where I like that piece of cool tech. Also, I love the Android, the Android Auto, which is really nice, and the Apple CarPlay feature, which of course I don't use, but I like how I can have my Teams app, WhatsApp, other messaging, phone, and everything's integrated on the screen. It's like an extension for your phone, and then everything is available on that screen. So if you have a very long trip, you're on cruise control, or everything's safe, there's not too many people in front of you, got to watch out for deer, but you can do all that stuff from there. All right, let's get to the numbers, baby, or get to it at least. So let's clean up a couple things. Entertainment, music, miscellaneous. I don't want to mess this up. Let's take this out because I ran these numbers before I actually made things happen. So now we're using the same numbers for my net income. We're going to use the same numbers here. If I don't do and again, this is from an older stream where I talked about pre-tax payroll deductions or pre-tax payroll contributions to your retirement. And that was a MGTOW retirement. And I'm not doing this under MGTOW retirement because this is kind of general finance. And the MGTOW retirement, I usually have a different agenda, and it's more about retirement. This is just general finance. So I talked about pre-tax payroll contributions, and pre-tax, or with not putting any type of payroll contributions into my 401k, I would have about $3,000 extra per month, right? So that's just like one thing we can look at. It's like, okay, even if I said 150, and this is also calculating the shop itself, which I'll be making extra payments on that. And I'll still be able to do because of some new, and I was not awarded, but I got a new side gig, some coding work, some database work. So that's going to be an extra $50 an hour, and that's going to, like, I'm going to be billing $50 an hour for some extra work. So that'll be nice. And essentially, the way I worked it out on that, let's look at that real quick. And this is why this was on the way. Like, I had put the proposal in back on February 9th is when I sent it to him. And on the way to actually driving to get the truck yesterday, I got the call, talked to the guy about it, who's a friend of mine from my old job. And we tried to do business in the past. Things didn't work out. But I tried to do the monthly retainer, which would have been $5,600 without $5,600 W-9. So there's no taxes taken out. I have to handle taxes myself by putting in my W-9 to my tax preparer. So I have to handle those taxes and pay that out. I have to put money aside for taxes. So me saying $5,600 a month, that is me like, okay, making sure that I put that money somewhere else. Can you email me the budget template you are using? Yeah, hit me up at AOE4EVA@gmail. Now, with that being said, thanks, Kildeuce, for taking me off task here, bro. Jeez. But anyways, I do have this template already, and I can share it. Projections, projections cleaned. This is from August 2020. This is like really old, and this kind of goes into it a little bit. I had this, like, this is an old one, man, and I probably have to update it, but this is where I go into like and I can customize this with you, Kill Deuce, if you ever want, bro. I'll be glad to do that. I'm always glad to help brothers in the space, especially with the finances and stuff. But this is established business credit for both companies, goal to those are like some business goals, numbers and formulas, future, so you can actually look at your pay periods, 3 pay periods in advance, your bills, which is now considered the monthly, and then this also have Dave Ramsey's baby steps, so that's always a good reminder. All right, let me get that guy out of here. All right, cool. So yeah, that's all. This is always a good reminder of the Dave Ramsey baby steps. These are old numbers. You fill this out, look at your 6 months total for all of these and how much you really have to save. This doesn't have the updated monthly, so I probably have to do that too. That takes time, but this is the debt to income ratio, where if you're buying a house, you can actually already calculate your debt to income ratio and know that. So it's like, in terms of my total debt versus my income, my ratio is 14%. So 14% of my how does that work? Debt to income ratio. So it works out to be 14%. So like my debt over my income, I have way more income than I do have debt. And then graphs, like this is where you would put like graphs if you ever have any. But again, this is from like August 2020 is the last time I looked at this. Either way, I shall share it and you all can take a look at it. Ooh, let me get the link here. All right. I'm gonna shoot to pay off my car this year. Shit, I'm gonna shoot to pay off my car in a couple years. Nah, man, that's good, bro. That's really good. All right, cool. So that's a cleaned version of the spreadsheet. But you can always email me and we can like chop it up and probably even go through it if you want to do a stream. It doesn't have to be a live stream, but we can talk about it a little bit more if you'd like, Kill Do. So let me know and then we can work that out. I'll give you at least an hour or 2 hours of my time where we can talk about that, man, and really go through it, and it'll be what's it called? Full transparency on my part and then confidential as well. So I won't really get into your numbers. I might use some scenarios or something like that, but I won't get into your numbers or use your name. And that goes for anybody that wants this type of information or anything like that. I try to help people out because I got this from a girl, man, in my early 20s. So like it was like mid 2000s, getting into 2010 and stuff like that. And this is way after high school and shit, or a little bit after high school, and this is her budget. Like if you look at if I could ever find the originals on yeah, Kilduce, whenever you're ready we can like talk more about it. But if I could ever find the original, man, she had a really cool budget and it was months out and stuff like that, so she was really good. It was actually my homeboy's like on and off girlfriend. Kind of crazy shit with them with those two. All right, so let's make the change to our net income. There we go. All right, so with the net income, and again, so this is the current, right? This is how much this is the current, and this is current if we're still under, let's just kind of set the scenario. This is 125K a year, bi-monthly payroll. With bi-monthly payroll, I'm making $130. Actually, let's show that. Here we go. 125 for the salary. Let's choose here. Waycross, Georgia. Semi-monthly. Pre-tax deductions. And with the pre-tax deductions, let's increase the size of this so we don't have all the mess up here. Fixed amount we're going to do, it's just smartasset.com. If you look up smart asset paycheck calculator, again, this is the same thing I would do with you Kill Deuce or anyone else. Other brothers have reached out to me in this space. Actually, that one brother, I have to reach out to him as well. I did see a comment that he left recently, but I have to reach out to him just to check in. But this is me putting 19% of my gross pay. My gross pay per check is about $5,200. 19% of that will equal about $990. So this per paycheck, I'll be doing for $990 per paycheck to my 401k. HSA. So I use an HSA as opposed to which has a higher deductible. So it's like I have to pay $6,000 up to $6,000 out of pocket. Then my insurance kicks in. Anything below that, I pay everything out of pocket. Sorry, talking too much. I haven't really done anything. If I calculate the maximum HSA contribution for the year, and the reason why I'm doing an HSA is just so I can actually invest that money, and it rolls over, so it's also used as another retirement savings vehicle. With the HSA, which is a health savings account, my what do they call them? What do they call these people, man? My employer puts in, I think, like $500, and then I fund it myself, and it's all pre-tax as well. So $3,250, divide that by 12 months out of the year, and then divide that by 2. So 12 months out of the year, and I get paid twice per month because I get paid semi-monthly. So that works out to be $135, right? So $135, and I think insurance or some other medical insurance, I think is like $130 or something like that. Let me see here. I have it here. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So 139. So we'll say 139, right? So medical insurance, that includes my dental and all this other stuff. So I put all that in just one. 401k contribution, 19% of gross pay, and then HSA, $135. So we're looking at $1,264 per paycheck is taken out pre-tax. So it's taken out of my gross. All right. Now our gross paycheck is $5,208. And that'll leave me with $2,707. So that's how I came up with that number. So with that $2,707, we divide that or we multiply that by 2, and that will give us our net monthly income, which is the $5,414, right? So I'm still putting away $2,000 per month in my 401k. Still putting in another $130 or $35 into the HSA. And thankfully I don't get sick much. And even when I had COVID recently, I just did NyQuil orange juice, got through the fever, which was 2 days, and then, went from there. I still have a little bit of sniffles, but I think I'm a long hauler for COVID. All right, so my net income will still use this number at $5,414. Now, with that being said, and increasing my car payment, so car payment, this is the $10,000 that I borrowed for that YOLO move that I put into cryptocurrencies, and then another $150 per month is what I'm going to be paying on the workshop. I'm kind of worried though. I should have gotten the bill for that already, so I got to check with them. I don't want them to come and repossess that shit. So, and I don't even know how they like that. That'd be crazy. Having them come with a freaking flatbed and just like pick up a whole fucking building that I put all this fucking work into and be like, deuces, bitch, pay your bill next time. But we're already putting that in, and we've already accounted for that over here as well, right? So this is what I call using your cash flow a lot, and sometimes pimping your credit as well. So using your credit for either business moves or what have you. There's high risk to this because it could all blow up in your face, and it has blown up in my face in the past. And now I try to do things like invest more into a 401k. So just in case I have to take out a loan on from that 401k and take the penalties and pay the taxes at the end of the year, then I can do that. But a part of this to even thwart all of that is to actually have a savings. Not every bit of your money has to be used or making money in investments. Some of your money, it actually serves you better for your investments to actually have money sitting aside that is highly liquid, doesn't gain you any interest, but is easily available just in case you need to take it out for any reason or any hardships. Because then you're not selling any assets, you're not missing any payments or anything else like that. You have that money set aside. And that goes into Dave Ramsey's The Baby Steps, where you have I think it's like 3 to 6 months worth of 3 to 6 months worth of savings. 3 to 6 months of expenses ready to go. For me, Tony, what's up, brother? Appreciate you. Hello to you too, man. But having 3 to 6 months worth of some type of savings or something like that available, that's where that stuff is important. And that helps you a lot when it comes to investing. And this is something that I learned, where it was just like, you hear it, but then it's like you really see it in practice when I'm like, okay, now I got to sell some crypto so I can pay my mortgage or something like that. Well, great, I have it, but I'm gonna have to pay taxes on that at the end of the year. So how much did this mortgage actually really cost me? So it's like, all right, cool, I got this money, then I have to put money aside. Then next, I'm gonna have to sell even more just to pay the taxes. So it's just like, no, if you do have a good savings in place, then a budget and a good savings in place, then you could really do a lot more and maximize the returns and keep your money in the market. One thing that was nice about this whole deal with the truck, I didn't have to put any money down because the equity of my vehicle actually covered that. And they were like, and the thing is, if I put money down, I might have actually gotten maybe a better interest rate. But then I think about, okay, what could Shiba do or SHIB do? And again, that to me, that's a dead coin now. Excuse me. But what could things like CRO or CRO do? What could things like BTC or ADA, XLM, what else? Ethereum, or ETH, like what could those do in the short term or in the near future? Hopefully, hopefully, it's like blue pill investing, blue pill investing, the hope is real, but what could those do in the future? And I could actually take that and kind of cover the loss that I have in terms of what I have to pay in interest. So that's the hope side of it. Do you have a Roth? That is what I use as my emergency fund. That's not good. So a Roth definitely shouldn't be using that as an emergency fund, because the penalties with that, like a Roth and IRA, or like a Roth IRA and a regular IRA. I do have a Roth. Short answer. I do have a Roth, and I also have a passive investing fund. And then I also have a Roth. No, I have a 401k is what I'm going to be getting back into that 401k. And I'll be starting that from scratch. I cashed out my last one and did some stuff with it. So 401k, Roth IRA, a passive investing fund, and cryptocurrencies. So those are my 4 investment vehicles at that point, right? And with the Roth IRA, or with the IRA, with the 401k, you want to try and max you have a ladder of priority, and you want to max these out as much as possible. So whatever your yearly contributions that you can actually do with it. So when you're looking at something like, and I forgot the channel, and I'll try and find them, but it's this married couple. I think it's like Our Wealth Journey or something like that. But what they talk about is max out your 401k, which is $22,000 per year you can put into your 401k. After you max out the 401k, max out your HSA. After you max out your HSA, max out your Roth IRA. Now you can actually do those in order of your max contribution. So yearly, your 401k, and this will be done over, a longer period of time, but yearly your 401k, the most you could put into it is 22 grand, went over that. The Roth the most you can put in per year is $6,000. And I think it's actually 6,500. And then your HSA is 3,250. So if you just max that, then you're looking at So you're looking at 22,000. And correct me on the tax code. Our Rich Journey. Thank you very much. Yeah, most definitely. Our Rich Journey. And they talk about doing things like, laddering your 401k into an IRA, and then using your IRA to take money out from there. Like, there's a whole ladder step, but they do have videos on it. Our Rich Journey. They're awesome. And now they have investment properties overseas in Portugal, I believe. So now you're looking at 22K, and most of these are pre-tax. So, or 2 out of 3 of these are pre-tax. So 22 grand. That's why they say HSA first. So 22 grand, and then your HSA, which is pre-tax, that's going to be. Oh, sorry. That's going to be $25,250 right there, right? And then post-tax, that's when you do all the pre-tax stuff because it's pre-tax, and then you save a little bit on taxes. But again, you're taking away your cash flow. But then after that, plus 6K, and that's going to be your $31,250 a year. Not everybody can do that. Everybody has their expenses. Maybe you're living above your means when it comes to your property, your vehicle, or something like that. I think we'll look at the numbers and we'll see if I'm in the position to actually make that number happen. Actually, I think I'm not, but yeah, I don't think I am, because the 6,000 for the 6,000 for the net investment, or coming out of your net for your Roth IRA, that's a little bit harder to do, and that comes out of that cash flow that you have. Tony, budgeting, cutting expenses, investing are very important life skills for single men. Most definitely, bro. And this is why I talk about this stuff on MGTOW, my MGTOW retirement. Now, this is general finance, so I didn't give it that title. But I mean, bro, as you said, we should all know this type of stuff and be looking at this, This should be the type of stuff as a man, or man of the house, if you will, whether you're whether you're a MGTOW, SYSBM, what else is out there? IBMOR, what have you, or just a single man doing it, you should always have something like this. You should have this a part of your arsenal. And if anything, any woman you decide to be with should either be on this type of game already for herself, or you should be able to teach her. And then by you showing her and teaching her, that's a part of the vetting process to see if she can actually handle the things in your household the way you want to do things. So yeah, most definitely. That's a great comment, a great point, man. This is a good show. Lionel, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, man. As always, guys, share, like. You know what I mean? So get that out there. I should be doing that. Like, what's up, YouTube? We're talking about budgeting today. Yeah. But anyway, so getting into it. And again, we broke down, the truck and how much, what warranties are, or what warranties I have, and how much I'm putting everything together. My trade-in, the KBB or Kelly Blue Book value. What's it called? The equity that I had in the vehicle, so on and so forth. So now we're moving to the budgeting and how this is going to affect me and what I'm doing. So a part of my spreadsheet, and this is not a part of I haven't updated this in a while, so I need to make a clean version of this monthly so you guys can fill in your own stuff. But when I look at this, I look at my entertainment and music or miscellaneous, and that's all of these values here. So internet, I got to pay my internet bill. Oh man, I'm behind, because it doesn't auto debit, so I'm kind of behind on that. So, but I have Vive internet access and AT&T as my backup. So my alarm, all that stuff. I have all of this stuff here: Hulu, Disney, Patreon. That's my $5 that I give to Dollar Will. Y'all got to give more than that though. He gives me a break. But T-Mobile for my my phone payment, which I get $50 actually a month from my job because I install certain applications. Also, guys, make sure you look at my community posts. There are some job postings that my job has up, and they pay pretty decent money, and they're growing as a company. And in some cases, depending on the project or the job, I should say, you can actually work from home. So people on my team are in Texas, Maryland, and I think in I forgot what other state. I forgot one other. There's one other state, and so we work all remote, and then I'm the other state, Georgia, and then I think there's one other person. Is kind of what I meant. But yeah, so I calculate all this stuff. My car insurance is going to go up, so I forgot to do that calculation before this stream. I wouldn't doubt my car insurance is probably going to get up to 120 or something like that with a truck this size, but that's not a big deal because my insurance was 160 for my same Ford Explorer coming out of Florida. So we'll see. Electricity, how much I pay a month, water, loans. So this is what I currently pay for car and stuff like that. And even with putting in 19% and HSA contributions and all that other stuff, per month, I'll have a remainder of $1,200. Now, so much before to get to this point. All of that said and done, that's the same here, except for the truck payment, right? So new truck for 60 months would be $1,144. This is old, and this is like large buildings and stuff like that. So none of that stuff actually happened. So let's go ahead and delete that. You'll delete that. So and I'll make a new one for the updated. So my monthly payment for my truck is going to be $1,291, $252 for the $10,000 loan that I took out for that YOLO crypto move, where I took $10,000 from as a personal line of credit and invested it into the crypto market. And that move is doing some. No, actually, that move is down, I think. Let's see. YOLO move to. No, actually, it's up. It looks like it's up. I am up $859. I'd gotten that up a lot more when the market was doing a lot better. So my total return on investment thus far is 8.64%. So that's actually pretty good. I don't know if that beats out the percentage for the loan though. I was a lot higher though. Keep that in mind. And that helps me sleep at night by saying that. So we're looking at loans alone, $1,693. In terms of my mortgage payment, I'm paying $1,681.70. Now, I'm doing that because for my mortgage payment, it was $1,441, and then I just got a new escrow paper here. And they'll send me stuff and saying, hey, listen, this is updated. So it was $1,441. Now it's $1,422, $1,422.41. And that starts March 1st. So I'm just going to still go off the old number because I don't feel like changing it every time that it goes up or down or anything like that. Now, so that's my mortgage payment. That's with PMI, that's with taxes, insurance, and then, of course, the base mortgage payment. Now, what I do and why I pay $1,681, and again, you're seeing where even though I got this truck, I can quote unquote afford it, and it's affording it because I have extra disposable income. Like that's the only reason I can quote unquote afford it. By other metrics, though, some people would look at it and be like, depending on the metrics, there's actual things out there where it's like how much you should pay out of your I think it's out of your net. You should only pay 30% out of your net income. Actually, gross income is what most people say. And the reason why people say gross as opposed to net is because of taxes, deductions for medical, so on and so forth. Those are unknown variables and they're very subjective. They're only subjective to the person that is actually doing it because of maybe a medical insurance plan that they have, how many kids they have, if they're doing an HSA, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of people always go off of gross. Now, gross is a gross underestimation in my eyes in terms of how you should be calculating all of this stuff. Excuse me. So what I like to do is I do it based off of net. So if I was to do, let's do net income, 5414, and this is my new number. It's really my true net income without any deductions or anything else like that. And without any pre-tax payroll contributions to a 401k. I need to change the title of that video. should be about 3,200 or something like that, right? And then multiply that by 2, 6,400, and then 0.3. So I should be able to afford a house. And again, this is without, all those other things in terms of 401k. I should be able to afford a house with a mortgage payment of $1,920. Now, let's look at what we have now. So, and see if I'm still falling into this or did I fall into a shit pit? So times 0.3. Hey, cool. I'm still good. So yeah, I'm still good because 5,400 is my new, even with a 19%. So I'm still falling in line with some of these common metrics. And let me see if I can bring that up. Okay, how much mortgage can I afford? See how much I can afford. Affordability. There's affordability calculator. Mortgage affordability calculator. How much house I can afford. All these are how much I afford. Let me see. There's a rule of thumb for it. That's what I'm looking for. And this is okay. So here we go. Let me read this real quick. A 28-36 debt to income ratio. Users use the rule to identify what is when mortgage are trying to determine time. Simply states that the mortgage borrower not use more. Okay, cool. There we go. So this is a pretty good article, I think. I just skimmed over it real quick. But this is the 28-36 rule. What is the 28-36 rule of thumb for mortgages? And we'll just get down to the nitty gritty. When mortgage lenders are trying to determine how much they'll let you borrow, your debt to income ratio is a standard barometer. The 28-36 rule is a common rule of thumb. The 28-36 rule simply states that a mortgage borrower / household should not use more than 28% of their gross. Now, why they have that / household is because if you have a spouse, of course, and they're bringing in any type of money or even any type of like pensions and stuff like that, that could be seen as income that will be used to pay towards a mortgage. All right. So should not use more than 28% of their gross monthly income toward housing expenses and no more than 36% of the gross monthly income for all debt service. Okay, I was totally wrong, including housing. So that 36% is something else. I thought it's like, oh, okay. I was mistaken here. I thought you could like do more. So yeah, I was wrong about the 36%. So 36%, it says expenses what's it called? Housing expenses and no more than 36% of your gross monthly income for all debt services, including housing. Mark Edelstein, a senior loan officer at Ross Mortgage Corporation in Detroit, told the Balance via email. So, for instance, yeah, you can go into looking at your home price and everything else like that, so you can actually see, okay, how much home can I really afford on my net income and be quote unquote comfortable. They also have this for cars as well. So if I was to even duplicate, go back, how much car? And there's like there's one that's a little bit more. It's like how much? 3 rules of thumb. Oh, here we go. So same website, The Balance, the 24-10 rule. All right. All right, cool. The 24-10 rule uses straightforward math to help car shoppers figure out their budget. According to the formulas, you should make 20% down payment on a car with a 4-year car loan, and then spend no more than 10% of your monthly income on transportation expenses. That 10% spent on monthly transportation includes your auto loan payment, maintenance, gas, and car insurance. I am totally out of that. Totally out of that. So, for instance, I didn't put 20% down. 20% down would have been about like 14 grand, which I could stretch that if I would have cashed out any assets, but I don't want to do that. Now you have these rule of thumbs, like even Dave Ramsey's rule of thumbs. For a lot of people, this would put them in a lot better position in terms of their finances. Most definitely. I will not say that is not the truth. I will not say this shit is bunk or bullshit, whatever. No, most people need to be following this type of stuff, to be very honest. Yeah, but it's not something that I do. I think I'm smarter than the system. But if I look at the 10%, right? So if I look at 10%, that means my car payment should only be $500 with insurance and everything. It's not the case. Definitely not the case. So that's one thing that I gotta that's one thing that you can look at and you can follow that. That's not what I do though. I will put that article in the chat for other people to follow, because some people are just way more conservative than I am. Okay, how much car can I afford? This is another one. I haven't read through this or skimmed through it at all, but go ahead. That could be another bit of reading. All right, cool. Let's put that embarrassment down. I definitely don't do that. All right, so when they have the rule of thumb, so I'm following in line with the rule of thumb for a mortgage, but of course a mortgage is more important. And if anything happens, shit hits the fan. This is why I have gap insurance. This is why I also have savings or anything else, or not savings, but I will build up my savings again. This is why I also have liquid assets such as cryptos that I can actually cash out. And I use improperly. I use crypto as my backup, if you will. Okay, moving on. I'm about to pass out. I'll hit you up soon. All right, Kill Deuce. I appreciate you showing up, man. Catch the replay, and you'll see me finally get through these numbers. Yeah, we're over an hour now, so cool. So with this is what I was talking about with the mortgage. My mortgage payment, I'm a little bit over that 30% by adding 2 extra payments a year. So what I do is I take my mortgage, or I'm not even talking about the mortgage note itself. I'm talking about the whole mortgage, meaning the tax title, the taxes, insurance, and the PMI. I say, hey, listen, I want to make 2 extra of those payments per year. Now, usually people tell you put an extra $100 on top of your mortgage. In my case, I'm putting an extra $240. Yeah, $240.70 on top of my mortgage, right? So that's $1,441. I double that, right? So that's $2,882 more than I'm putting per year. Then by me doubling that, I divide that by 12, and I spread that out. I spread that 2 extra payments out over the entire year for my mortgage payment. And then what I do is I make sure, because my mortgage servicer, the company I got my mortgage from is my old job. So Hamilton Home Loans, I can say that name now since I don't work there no more. But shout out to my boys in IT over there, Miguel, Jermaine, of course, Vinny, and Damien. And also like Steven and James as well, man. But so with them in their portal, I can actually go in and say, hey, listen, I'm gonna take 240. I want that extra money going to the actual principal. So then that starts to cut down how much I pay in interest per month. So I steadily see that number going down, and down. And then you have amortization tables and charts that will show you, like, hey, I'm going to be saving X amount I'm going to be saving X amount over the life of the loan, which is I think 10 grand or something like that. Anyways, so I put the $240 onto it. So you can see where I'm putting more money into some building equity in my house. I got a letter the other day saying I have estimated about 14 grand worth of equity into my home. I think it's more than that, actually. Yeah, that number was weird. I got that the other day. I got that paper the other day and it said 14 grand. But I remember when I got this house, the difference the difference between, oh, okay, there we go, 41 grand. Yeah, 41 grand. And so new mortgage estimated amount is 2046 or 246,000. New 30-year fixed rate mortgage 3.25%. I'm actually paying 2.9, or I have a interest rate of 2.99%. So I don't think I'll refinance out of that to something higher. And I also don't get the discounts and stuff. So I may never ever take like a HELOC or anything like that, which is a home equity line of credit, unless I would be taking that to invest into some type of business or something like that. Or I don't even think I would take it in for like debt consolidation unless I really need to. And that's another way, that's another quote unquote savings account, if you will. I don't personally don't like to use my home as an investment. I like to use my home as my motherfucking home, and I never want to lose it. That's me personally. A lot of people, they talk about house hacking, or not house hacking, but doing all types of stuff with the equity. Not my thing. Okay, so with all that being said, looking at all the numbers, and let's go ahead and put in this right here is 10% of our net income. So that 10% per month. So that equals out to be about $270 and 50 something cents or something like that. So that 10% is what I usually put into crypto. Richest man in Babylon always talks about pay yourself before you pay anyone else. So I usually take that money and I invest it in crypto. Every paycheck I get, put it in crypto. If you have a proper savings account, then you're looking at where you put this stuff in crypto and you never have to take it out for any reason. Hope I'm not boring some of you guys. For those that are sticking around, I appreciate you greatly. I know I put out a lot of information and say a lot of things, go off track, go on tangents, talk about stories. This one time my mom took me, all this other stuff. But I do appreciate those that are sticking with me and listening, and then also those that are coming to watch on the playback. But I like to explain things somewhat thoroughly so you guys can understand and actually recreate this type of stuff and talk about it amongst your family, your friends, or anybody else. I'm trying to look at the camera. I always try to look at myself, but I definitely want to. Lionel, of course Lionel's staying. Lionel about his money, baby. If you knew what I knew about Lionel, you'd be hitting him up for money. Oh shoot, maybe I should have said that. But yeah, people that are really serious about their funds, really serious about their finances, I really should say, those are the people that you want to have around you, that stick around, that do that help you do what's necessary to put you in a better place, and also because they want to be in a better place as well, as surrounded by quote unquote better people. And Lionel is definitely a person that I have around me that is a better person, and definitely somebody that is an inspiration in a lot of ways, man. So, shout out, salute to you, brother, and the conversations that we have. Other people in the space that I talked to, Don Calypso, I'm Classic, who did a great classic stream about his investment strategy. Lionel, who's actually came on the channel and talked about crypto and stuff like that. We definitely have to, not just saying that, but we definitely have to set up another stream talking about that stuff. And then even more recently, Grinch God, and the stuff that he does in terms of, motivating men to be in a better place in their life and actually get to a higher level of the game, if you will, and not worrying about the female side of everything, but also really focusing on you and you getting better. People like him, and then also even Ed, and what he talks about in terms of going out there and doing more and doing better, and then also making better choices in the long run. Although Ed is going crazy nowadays. Steel sharpens steel. I prefer platinum because I'm I'm a little bit too pretty to be steel, baby. I ain't that rough. You know what I mean? But I am valuable. But yes, steel sharpens steel, brother. And it's a testament to this space that we're all doing these things to sharpen each other, make one another better. All right, back to it, man. I appreciate you guys. I really do, and I really do mean that, and that's why I always show my love or talk about, hey, listen, I love you guys. I really do. Like I don't see you guys, but really do have love for y'all, and y'all can always reach out to me. All right, so 541. So with all that being said, oh man, I ain't gonna have no money. I haven't even calculated the insurance. With 473 a month free, that's kind of paycheck to paycheck levels. That's how am I going to service debt with that, and so on and so forth. This is where, yeah, this is where we do extra. This is where we do more. So even with all of this, let's look at how much we're actually putting away for retirement, for rainy days, so on and so forth. Like how much are we investing? So the ways that we can invest, or the ways that I love you. Let me count the ways. Okay, I could have said that a lot better. So 401k, we're putting about I think it's like 18 something. 990 is going to be 18, and then 90, 18 180 or something like that. No, 18, no, 18, no, 1,980, I think is what that's going to be. 990 times 2. Yeah, 1,980. Look at me, baby. All right, so you're looking at 1980 for 401k. HSA, we're looking at another one. I think we put like 130 is what we put in that calculator. I hate when this sucker resets because sometimes it does. Pre-tax contributions, HSA 135 is what we put. 135, 10% to investments, 10% of the net, 10% of net. And that is, in this case, going to be, and this is per month. Oh, so this is actually 270 because this is per month. And excuse me, Firehouse Subs is amazing. $541.40. All right, so those are our numbers, and I can't think of anything else. I have that have that. I have the HSA, and then my post-tax investments. So yeah, I'm investment poor. Right. So even with me being investment poor, we're looking at 1980 plus 270 plus $541.40. That's saving $2,791.40 per month. Multiply that by 12. We're saving 33 grand or 33.5 grand a year. And, let's do this. I mean, that's a big number for me. For everybody else, you put in your own numbers. That's still going to be a pretty big number, right? Or it should be a significant number. If you can pull off this type of stuff, it should be a significant number. And you should, if you want to make more money, go make more money, blah, 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 all these things. Yeah, go ahead and do it. Now, with that being said, let's look at how much I used to make working at Lowe's. I worked at Lowe's for like 3 days, man, and my body couldn't take it. I could probably do it a little bit better now, especially with better shoes. But yeah, my body could not take it. And, I was working 2 jobs, and I was also working a night job. I worked a night job for like 3 months at this, at Beach Timber in Alma, Georgia, ALMA, Georgia, Beach Timber. And I think I was getting $10 a month. Nope, $10 a month, $10 an hour. And I was it $10 an hour? It was a fairly chill job, but it was still labor intensive. Anyways, Lowe's, I think I was getting $12 an hour. And even if you do, and I wasn't getting that many hours, and this is why I was working my last job too. And this is why I told myself, I got to make a move. I got to make more money. Here I am now. Great move. It worked out. Hopefully we can keep it going. All right. $12 an hour, and you're looking at 80 hours per paycheck, and you have 26 paychecks out of the year if you're getting paid bi-weekly. So you have 52 weeks in a year. Divide that by two, and that you're getting paid every other week. So you're looking at $24,960. I'm saving more than my salary, and that's gross. It's gross what I net, little Drake in there, what I'm saying, little, Five Alarm Chili Poppy, you know what I mean, little hot sauce in the condom poppy, little, you know what I mean. It's gross what I save, baby. It's gross what I save. Red pill rage with black pill guts, driving big bodies because I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Okay, let me stop. But that's beautiful. I could pull this. If I could pull this number off, again, there's always something that comes up that makes you want to change this type of stuff. Even if we knock it down to maybe 10% of, let's start playing with the numbers here. If we do 10%, oh shoot, there we go. I still love this fucking picture. I love this fucking picture, man. I'm showing it because the thumbnail I have now is more, it's spot on for this. But this picture's fucking hilarious. Fucking Dave Ramsey, I love him. All right, so let's go here. Look at our semi-monthly. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's look at our pre-tax deductions, and let's pop this down to 10%. So that's $521 per paycheck, and that's 10%, $135. The insurance still looks good. All right, I don't know what. Oh, let's expand this. Excuse me. All right, so 721. Now, with that being said, we can see that post-tax deductions, we're not taking anything out that. Take-home salary is going to be 33 or 3036, right? So if we keep it 3036, we only do 10%. 10%, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. I'm just repeating this so I can I could be okay with it. 3036, and again, everything's the same on this side. Actually, yeah, everything's the same on this side in the current column, and then this is debts paid. So this is we'll just erase that because that was a different calculation. So we'll do our net income will be 3036 times 2. 3036 times 2. Guys, if you see any problems with my calculations, let me know. I think I'm spot on. But now we're looking at 1131. Now, again, so not again, but now, if we look back at, previous videos, me talking about this and, where to do this, also looking at my debt that I have, I can probably cut this down to 10%. And then with the 10%, 10%, that is, oh man, what is that again? 521 as opposed to 990. And again, I think I'm gonna do the 19%, but I do want to mess with these numbers a little bit. 990, 521 times 2 will be 1042. 1042. All right, 1042, and let's bring this up just as a reference. So this is, you work 80 hours a paycheck at Lowe's, making $12 an hour, which is kind of what they start you off if you're doing night stocking, which is what I was doing. Should have been trying to stock one of my damn coworkers and bust that ass open. That motherfucker, that was kind of fun. She was thick. All right, so yeah, so 1042 plus 270 plus 541.40. So that's 1853 times 12. Yeah, so we're damn near as saving and putting towards investments, retirement. So in retirement accounts, health savings account, which we can actually take and invest. And I still haven't gotten to that point. You have to have a certain amount in your HSA before you can actually do that, which is another reason why I haven't done it. But if once you have that, then you can actually go ahead and take that HSA money and invest that into like mutual funds, ETFs, and other things. And you have to like sign up and then have somebody that's I forgot what they call them, but I'll do more research on it and get into it, and then probably even make a video on that. So yeah, I mean, this is how much I would make if I was, working at Lowe's versus, getting a higher paying job, and putting a lot more into my retirement accounts and personal investing and all that other stuff. But you can see where this number, actually, that 541 should change, actually. Right? Yeah, that should change. Oh, that's why I didn't change. It should be C13. Yeah, I mean, if you change, so 1061 would be my remainder. All right, let's run that number again. 1042 plus 270 plus 607.20, because that is 270 plus 607.2. So that's 19.9 times 12. Yeah, so we're like, it's $1,000 more. But yeah, that's what we're putting towards investments. And then of course, those investments go up and down. They'll lose value, gain value, actually beat the market, make less than the market. But at the end of the day, you're looking at a longer time frame, especially on a 401k or even even your HSA. And if you can invest that, take that HSA and invest it, you can start making money off of that as well. But you're going to have to pay a lot more money out of pocket. So if you have an HSA, you need to also have at least probably $6,000 to $10,000 saved up. That's just kind of how it works with the HSA, or that's kind of how it should work with you having an HSA. Okay. So just playing with those numbers, man. So if I do a 10%, I can still have $1,000 left over every month. And I'll still have to look at these numbers, but we're looking at now our 6-month totals are a lot higher, right? Because I have to account for 6 months of paying a truck note, which is $1,200, which is almost as much as my mortgage. These are where stupidity is alive and well. This is where Dave Ramsey comes in. Well, Dave Ramsey came in a long time ago, looked at it, rolled his eyes, and said, "Stupid, stupid, stupid," and walked out, right? But this is where all that stuff comes in, where you're looking at these numbers, and the biggest thing is, are you disciplined enough to follow this, or follow your own plan? Are you really disciplined? Are you doing what you can to make extra money? Now let's move on a little bit, because I'm getting a little bit dry mouth here, and I do want to take a little rest here, and I do have to make up some hours for work. So I'll be working. I'll be working a little bit. Maybe I'll probably take a nap and then go to the gym, and then come back and do some reading. I have a lot of reading I got to do, and I want to try and get it done before Monday. I've been not holding off on it, but something always comes up to where I can't always complete the reading. So that I got to do. And I got to read like a 20, I think it's like 20 pages of a 20, it's like a 30-something page document, but 20 pages of content. And then I have to think about a solution that we're going to have to engineer and implement for our customer. So, but hey, I got the skills to pay the bills, and the bills just went up, bitch. But this shows me, okay, if I take this monthly remainder, it would take me 2 years to save up this month, or save up 6 months worth of bills. If I, as you pay things off, it behooves you, for instance, if I take this full $1,000 and not save it per se, then I can cut off things like, the $10,000 loan, or even this. Imagine a $1,291 truck payment. It looks a lot better if I start taking off some of that other stuff and getting rid of some of the smaller, loans and stuff that I have out there, or credit card debt or what have you. So, and that's why you need to pay off your debt, and you should pay off your debt. In my case, yes, I am adding more debt, but it's a means to an end. And one of the reasons why I did it is because of all the money that I put into the shop. I put on a credit card, and I know my credit score is going to go down because of that. But I wanted to get this truck sooner than later while the credit score is up. So, and then, this is the other thing. Another reason why I can quote unquote do this is, I think is 2707. So 2707. So put that number back in there. Let's add another bit of net income. The last thing we'll talk about. I swear. Thanks for the two that are rocking with me. Lionel, I think you're a part of that. And whoever else is out there, I appreciate you. It's probably me on my other phone or something like that. But I do appreciate you all, and I do appreciate those that are watching the playback. And I mean that. 473.23, right? The next thing we want to look at is outside income. Now, I'll do this the gross way. And what I'll probably do is chop off a third of that, and that'll show kind of like what I expect to get taxed on this amount. But I just not awarded a contract, but I just landed a little side gig where I'll be getting paid $50 an hour to do some database work, some coding as a contractor. So some contract work, I should say. So at $50 an hour, let's just say we want to cover my truck payment, right? $1,291. And again, this is like a low bar in a sense. This is my low bar. I can bring in another $1,291, and my truck payment, quote unquote, doesn't exist, if you will, right? So, and of course, that's not true. So divide that. So $1,291, divide that by $50 an hour. Shoot. $1,291 divided by $50 an hour. That's 25.82 hours a month that I have to work, right? So 25 hours of just extra work. In some cases, you can knock that out on a weekend if you have a big project or a big coding project. You could spend 10 hours or 2 5-hour days or something like that. Or 5 5-hour days, or even 6 if you want to go over, and really get the 25.82. But let's say 50 hours or 25.82 hours, and divide that by 4 weeks in a month. So every week, all I have to work is 6 extra hours per week, 6.5 extra hours per week, right? So we can do it as a 7 hours, 2 hours a night. Sometimes that's 2 nights of coding or database work or what have you, or planning, because that's billable hours, planning stuff out, so on and so forth, however you want to pimp it. But bro, an extra 7 hours a week, when in some cases, if you work the night job, you're going to have to work, they make you work maybe 4 hours if they're doing part-time. If you're doing full-time, you're definitely working an 8-hour shift, which is standard. In some cases, a 12-hour shift. So if you can find some way you can actually do, let me cover this up, David, because I'm Mr. Dave. I am not stupid. Anyways, let's hide this because I should get that off. So yeah, an extra 6.5 hours. That's great, man. That's great. Like, at that point, I've added plus $1,291. Right now, that gives me another. Now, by adding that extra $1,291, numbers start changing. I can invest more into my post-tax investments, or my net investments. In terms of like putting that towards cryptocurrencies. And this is also still, by doing this, I am still investing 19% to my 401k. This is based off of that number, right? Because we did the 2707 times 2 plus $1,291, right? So now that truck payment is damn near mute. You don't have to worry about that. We added extra money, extra income. Now we're looking at we're in a better position here. So with that, and I guess we could show the quote unquote gravity of it side by side. 6.5 hours by working an extra 6.5 hours, 1980 plus 270 plus instead of 541, we'll do 670.50 because it's 10% of this new net income. Oh shoot, that remember what I was gonna do here. I think if you divide this, I gotta take off the third for taxes. So 1291, and this is what one thing you have to do. Lionel, peace to you, brother. I appreciate you. And sorry I didn't see you go, but peace, man. So 1291. I'm almost done here, guys. Yeah, hour and a half. So 1291. This is why you want to overshoot, right? This is why you want to do more hours than that are necessary. So for me to make 1291, it has to be 2/3 of what I make, right? So if I do 1291 times 0.3, that should be 1,000. What? A third. Divided by 3. There we go. Should be $430. So I really need to make 1291 plus $430. I need to be making 1721. Divide that by $50 an hour. I need to be working 34 hours a month. Divide that by 4 weeks in a month. I need to be working 8.605 hours per month, right? So an extra 8.605 hours per month. Now, with that being said, let's look at our history here. What was my calculation here? Oh, here we go. It's actually in this one. 1721. So I need to be doing 1721. I just want to make sure I get this right. So 1721, if you want to add the tax of something to the value and see what it is, instead of saying 3% of this value plus the original value, that's the total that you're going to have to pay, you just multiply it by 1 point and whatever that percentage is. So if it's 3% or 30%, it's going to be, and that was another problem that I was doing. I did 3% earlier on that other one. That was kind of weird. If I was to do like Florida sales tax in Miami, I think is 7% or something like that. So if I was to do $10 times 1.07%, that'll tell me I owe them like 70 cents or something like that. Yeah, I think it works out to be 70 cents. So you could do the same thing in reverse if you wanted to find out how much a third is a third of the original value, or minus a third of the original value. So you divide instead of multiply. All right. So divide that by 1.3. Okay. Come on. So that'd be 1323. Right? Cool. I think that's right. Yeah, 30%. Oh no, it's not really 30%, it's like 33%. Let's go through this one more time. I need to make 1291, and then for me to make 1291, I have to multiply that by 1.33. I have to make 1717. Right? So if I make 1717.03, divide that. Yeah, I mean, obviously this is going to work because I just did it a second ago. So 1291. So I need to make 1717.03. 1717.03. Right? And And the reason why I'm doing it like this is just so I can easily plug in the number and then multiply it later. So, and divide that by 1.33 because taxation is probably about a third, right? Or 30, it's actually, I think 30%. But overshooting is not going to really hurt you. And if anything, you'll get it back, right? Hopefully, for your sake. So 17-17-03, and this is kind of the new part, which is why I'm like fuzzy and foggy on it. AKA why I'm messing up the math. Right. So it pretty much equals out to the same thing. Yeah. That's not that far off than what it was before. Yeah. Yeah, it's actually spot on. All right, cool. All right, so I have to make 17-17-03 a month. Divided by $50, divided by 4. I have to work 34 hours a month. Divided by 4, that means I have to work 8.5 hours per week, or 8.6 hours a week, or 9 hours, right? So 9 hours per week, I can pay off my truck. And what that means, let's redo all the numbers. 1980 plus 270 plus 670.50. Now we're looking at $2,920 per month put towards investments times 12. We're looking at $35,000 per year. And that's by working an extra 9 hours per week, doing contract work. And if I can actually keep this gig and lock it down for 6 months, a year to come, even if I just say, hey, listen, man, I'm going to take all that extra money and start slapping, a couple things in the face, like, let me pause because you know how I be tricking. But if I can slap a couple of these debts in the face and stuff like that, if I could just, I could take that extra money, put it towards something else or what have you. But either way, I'll have an extra $1,600 or $1,635.13 per month ready to go. Yeah. So, hey, man, that's pretty much it. I went through a lot in terms of numbers. I think I exhausted a lot of different scenarios and then added some other stuff to it. So, I mean, honestly, with if I was to, and again, $1,291 per month. I mean, this is going to be my new current, and I do have to update the car insurance section of it. But once I get that looking right, and this is off by I know why that's off, but anyways, it's not that big a deal. Gotta, register insurance and all this other stuff, and then get the new insurance quote per month and see how much that's going to cost me. But honestly, I'm looking at, even with putting 19% away and all the other numbers and stuff today, I won't go over it again. But yeah, I'm still looking at an extra $477 or $78 a month. This is what I do to actually put a budget together for myself. I have a new truck payment. Truck payment's almost as much as my mortgage. I could have taken that extra money and put it towards something like buying another home or property, but that is that is not a hindrance, but there are stipulations that come along with that. I would have to put 20% down, and that's going to be a large amount of money. I would also have to put, that would be making it into a commercial loan, because now it's another property and stuff like that. And that comes with higher interest rates and all types of other stuff. And, for the short term, now long term, that actually is a better way to better place to put my money, or even in the crypto market. But in the short term, I needed a truck for some of the stuff I want to do, wanted a bigger truck, just because I personally like it. But then also I want to start towing some stuff and getting some larger equipment and stuff like that. Anyways, with all that being said, guys, I'm seeing that I got more people coming in. Please catch the playback. I appreciate you so much. I got a headache from talking so much and talking about all these different numbers. I broke down, kind of the deal for my truck. These aren't really always exact numbers or the best numbers, but at the end of the day, my payment is thus. And in some cases, or to some extent, if I can pull some of these numbers off for a year with extra income, I'm looking at saving in terms of retirement and investments accounts. I'm not saving. I'm looking at investing $35,000 by the end of 2022. anything could happen. I could lose my job. They can say you're incompetent. They can say, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Or downsizing, what have you. But if these numbers work and my projections look quote unquote good enough, because this is my projection spreadsheet, this is what I could be looking at in terms of saving. So, guys, as always, thank you so much. I love you all. I appreciate you guys, sticking with me for an hour and a half. For those that did, I think I'm one of the people in there on my phone. But those that just joined, go ahead and catch the playback where I talked about, me buying this new truck, as you guys saw in one of my recent video or earlier video from today. Thank you so much. And with all of that being said, I love you all. Really wish you all the best. And if you guys want, you can reach out to me. My email is aoe4eba@gmail.com. All right. So you guys can always catch me via my email. And we can even go over, if you guys scroll up in the chat or watch the playback, at one point I did drop a link for my cleaned spreadsheet, which is not updated, but has some of these things where I talk about, my present and, some of these other things, but it doesn't have all of this stuff. It's made for people that they want to add the information about how much they're getting in their checking, how much debt they have, and what they want to put towards where. I will admit that I'm investment poor, and I'm totally okay with it because my workshop is nice and my truck is nice too. Yeah. All right. That was so sus. I'm out of here, man. Peace. Appreciate y'all.